I'm the CEO and co-founder of Band Industries, a music tech startup based out of here, Beirut. This is me and my co-founder, Bassam, in 2012. We were 25-year-olds at a time when the word startup did not really exist in the ecosystem, and we would not hear a lot of talk about entrepreneurship. We started off as bandmates playing music together at AUB, and we quickly realized that tuning our musical instruments is hard work and takes time away from playing. So we set out to solve this problem and launched the next year, in 2013, we launched our first generation Roadie tuner into the world. It was a big success and sold more than 20,000 units. This year, we launched our second generation guitar tuner that made it into history by becoming the most funded crowdfunding campaign in the music accessories space. So it got the most pre-orders among all music accessories in crowdfunding history. To know what we're talking about, I'm going to show you the product in action. Actually, it's super small that I can't fit one in my pocket. This is Roadie 2, and here's a quick video of how it works. To use it, you just select your instrument, put it on the guitar peg or ukulele peg or whatever, pluck the string, and in a matter of few seconds, it tunes your guitar to you into whatever tuning you've ever heard of. So in this way, you can get into tune, like you can become really tuned very quickly and get right into playing. This is the crowdfunding, the Kickstarter campaign we launched in April this year. In a matter of 39 days, we had set a goal to raise $50,000, but ended up raising more than 10 times this goal, or $500,000. These are some of the rock stars that our favorite rock stars actually, that we interviewed and showed them the product. They were so enthused about it that they decided to go on, or agreed to go on camera with us and tell us their thoughts about it. And more importantly, we interviewed some of the biggest and most prolific guitar techs in the industry, and they were equally enthused. So if this is something that can be useful to them, it can be useful to any guitarist or any musician around the world. This is some of the media attention we got from top-tier media, including the Wall Street Journal, TechCrunch, BBC, Engadget, and many others. Our retail presence at the moment is in some of the largest music stores around the world, like Guitar Center, the largest music store in North America, Thomann at the bottom here, the largest in Europe, and we are partners with the Amazon Launchpad program. So now that we've covered what we've done, in the remaining time I have, in the remaining few minutes I have, I want to share with you, I'm actually going to follow the famous rule of threes, share three things with you. I have a couple of challenges that we faced, a couple of opportunities in the ecosystem, and at the very end, a couple of tips for the entrepreneurs, for the future entrepreneurs we have here in the room. So starting with the challenges, we are a hardware company based out of Lebanon. Hardware is called hard for a reason, because you need to manufacture PCBs, plastic, prototype. There's so much complication into it compared to software. And being based in Lebanon means higher customs fees, longer delays in getting customs clearance. A lot of companies do not ship into Lebanon, so we had to face all those. Of course, prototyping facilities were not present back then. To stress this point a little bit more, I read a piece of statistics recently that out of the 200 or so unicorns around the world, unicorns are private companies valued at more than $1 billion. Out of those 200 currently present in the world, about 10% are hardware startups. And a lot of tech giants like Facebook and Uber that were purely into software before are now moving into making their own self-driving cars and Oculus Rift and a lot of hardware devices. So hardware is very important, and we should have a better ecosystem for hardware in Lebanon. This is changing with, we're seeing more and more labs and prototyping houses and fab labs that help with rapid prototyping and iterating quickly on hardware. And this is, I think, a big opportunity. So I'm really excited to see the next hardware companies that will come out of Lebanon. Another challenge we faced early on is the lack of access to quality mentorship or expert mentors. What I mean by expert mentors is those people who have been there, who have built startups, have done it. And unfortunately, in Lebanon, back in the day, we did not have access to a lot of this talent. And this is, I think, one of the big gaps that are getting bridged by initiatives like the Next Society and others. So that's also another very important stepping stone in the ecosystem. Now, moving on to opportunities, I think a lot of us agree here that the biggest resource in Lebanon, or Lebanon's biggest, how do you call it? Asset, yeah, is its people. It's the talent we have in Lebanon. I've worked in a lot of different countries and lived in different countries, including Australia, the US, China, Japan, and UK. And I've worked in companies there. And I think the talent we have in Lebanon is really top-notch. And the competition for this talent is very low because, unfortunately, we do not have a high-tech sector. So there's a lot of opportunity there. We managed, this is our team. We were around 13, I think, back then. This is right before the Kickstarter campaign in March. Now we are 20 people, and 19 of those people are based in Lebanon. This is the second opportunity, and it's the growing support ecosystem. I chose to feature some of the support VCs and angel investors, whether also early stage VCs and later stage VCs that invest in Lebanon and in the region. This is also a growing ecosystem, and it's very encouraging that money is no longer an issue or a big issue for new entrepreneurs. There is money. So if you build something that creates value, you have access to money and you can grow it quickly. Finally, the two tips. The first tip is something that I'm a big fan of. It's the spiral development methodology. It's used in software development, and I think it applies to anything in life, where you take an idea, you determine clear objectives of what you want to do, then you evaluate them, develop a prototype, a quick prototype as fast as possible, evaluate the results, and then iterate. And I think my favorite definition of startups is those are the companies that master this technique and they apply it into any aspect of life, whether tuning guitars or creating a chatting app or whatever it is. Just iterate very quickly and evaluate your results. Second tip is actually a book that I read very early on when we started, maybe in 2012 actually. And it's my favorite introductory book about entrepreneurship. It covers all the topics you see there on the left. And I would definitely recommend it to all the new entrepreneurs we have here in the room. That's it for me. Thank you so much.